The traditional way of retirement is to hold a job and work for 40 years and then retire in your 60s. Is it fair to say that? Well, I believe that when we are in our 20s, 30s and 40s, we don't really put much thought into retirement. We only think about it when we are in our 50s and 60s. By then, most of us will not have the youthful energy to enjoy the activities that we want to do now. For example, travel. When you're in your 60s, you might not have the energy that you have in your 30s and 40s to do the same kind of traveling that you want to enjoy. I bet you when somebody talks about retirement, this scenario comes to mind. An old man or old woman at a coffee shop reading newspapers, drinking coffee, or somebody at home watching TV doing the same routine day in, day out and just following through the motions. Today, I would like to invite you to explore the possibilities of an early retirement in Penang. In today's video, we are going to cover all the related costs that you require for an early retirement in Penang. We're going to provide you real costs on the ground for you to put in your monthly budget for your early retirement. Hi there, I'm John from the Corporate Breakout Couple. Together with my wife Fran, we retired in 2020 at the age of 40 in Singapore. In 2022, we shifted over to Penang and we are very blessed to call both countries our home. If you're new to our channel, we appreciate it if you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. To our existing subscribers, welcome back. If you're not Malaysian, for example a Singaporean like me, and have thoughts of retiring in Penang Island, this video is for you.
Penang offers gorgeous sea views with an unblocked horizon. You can take a walk to look at the murals at the old heritage part of town, a vibrant nightlife filled with activities, gorgeous paddy fields with more murals, a very exciting ATV adventure, and excellent food.
So, how much does it really cost to retire in Penang? One of the key factors to determine your cost is the location. Some of you may not know this, but the state of Penang is broken down into two main parts, Penang Island and mainland. So for today, I'm covering only on Penang Island. Now on Penang Island, know that the location that you choose to stay in plays a part in the cost. So what am I saying? For example, like accommodation, for food, the price varies depending whether you are, for example, in a more prime neighborhood like Tanjung Bunga, which is the north of Penang, or the more southern part of Penang, Bayan Lepas or Bayan Baru, which is more affordable. Previously, we have done up two videos for you for Penang, which is the cost of living in Penang Part 1, where we cover on basic needs, and the cost of living in Penang Part 2, which are wants. So Fran and I went all over Penang Island to cover extensively on the ground for you all the different prices, whether it's healthcare, whether it's accommodation, whether it's transport, groceries, food, we have them all there. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw heavy references from those two videos. So if you haven't watched, I invite you to watch them first and then look at this retirement video. Now, you may ask, what's the difference between those two cost of living videos and today's retirement video? Now, the key difference is, in those two cost of living videos, I was showing you the eyes of a local, of an average Penang night. In today's retirement video, I'm going to show you Penang Island through the eyes of a foreigner. So I'm also going to cover things like visa, the various ways that you can stay in Penang as well as a foreigner. At the end of this video, I will break down for you and share with you two budgets of a retiree in Penang Island as a foreigner. Is it possible? Can one retire comfortably in Penang? Can one even retire early in Penang? Let's find out! Penang is a melting pot of various cultures. You have the Malays, you have the Indians, the Chinese, the Eurasians, and you also have the Peranakans, and also a lot of foreigners of different races staying here. So as one would expect, you can expect an international array of different cuisine that's available over here. It's no wonder one is spoiled for choice when you live over here in Penang Island. What about the prices? While you know that you have many options for the type of cuisine, guess what? You also have many options for the different price points. You have the very affordable ones for your street and hawker food, all the way to your Michelin Guide, Michelin star restaurants in Penang. For those of you who love your coffee or your desserts, or you like to have some entertainment with drinks, not to worry, they have them all. If you're a retiree who loves to cook or a retiree who wants to save costs by cooking in more often, you can, because in Penang there are many options for you. From your local neighborhood wet markets, which are very affordable, to your supermarkets, which are more upmarket, air-conditioned, but they have a lot of imported produce that you may like for your type of food that you cook. It's now time for some numbers. For those of you who find this template familiar, thank you very much for watching my earlier cost of living videos. You might understand that this is the systematic approach which I adopt to build my different budgets with different options. The first persona is a budget-conscious retiree who eats in for 15 days and 15 days of eating out. And this person spends 2 times a month going to neighborhood restaurants. The average cost of eating out for the 15 days is 22 ringgit, mostly at hawker stalls for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a takeaway coffee at a hawker stall. That brings the total of cost of eating out for 15 days to be 330 ringgit. For 15 days of eating at home, because you're cooking at home is cheaper, you're talking about average savings of 35%, which brings it to 215 ringgit, and 2 times of eating out for 50 ringgit, that brings you to a total of 595 ringgit per month. This is the second persona, the average retiree with a higher food budget. This person spends 13 days eating out, 13 days eating at home, and 4 days eating out at neighborhood and fast food restaurants and cafes. The average cost of eating out at mostly hawker stalls for the average retiree is 32 ringgit, inclusive of breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a bubble tea as well. This is higher than the budget-conscious retiree. To sum it up, for the average retiree, 13 days of eating out is 416 ringgit, 13 days of eating at home with more expensive ingredients, therefore less savings than the budget-conscious retiree is 291 ringgit, 4 days of eating out at neighborhood fast food restaurants and cafe is 400 ringgit, bringing to a total of 1,107 ringgit per month. Now, if you're wondering how did I get all the numbers to formulate the budget, do watch my cost of living in Penang part 1, where you can see all the various examples of all the on-the-ground prices for the food and groceries, such that you can see how I formulated the budget in my earlier video, and this budget that I've shown you is very similar. The good news is there are many transport options in Penang to get around, and Penang Island is very small, so to get from one end to the other end, it doesn't really take you more than maximum 1 hour, even in traffic jams. If you are a bike enthusiast and you like to own your own motorbike, you could get a used one for 5,000 ringgit or a better one or brand new one for 15 to 20,000 ringgit for you to travel around Penang and around Malaysia. If you like to own your own car, the great news is Malaysia produces their own brand of vehicles. So if you're buying a locally produced car, let's say a low capacity one, you can get it as affordable as 30 to 40,000 ringgit. Or if let's say you want to go for a mid capacity one, a 1.5 or 1.6 liter Japanese or Korean car, it will cost you somewhere within a range of 70 to 110, 120,000 ringgit. And then if you are going for higher capacity vehicle or continental car, you're looking at 200,000 ringgit and up. And not to worry if you don't have a bike or car license, you can easily use ride-hailing like Grab for you to get around. It will cost you per trip roughly between 8 to 10 ringgit for a short one, or a longer trip, depending whether it's non-peak or peak hour, somewhere between 15 to 30 ringgit. For a foreigner residing in Penang Island, it makes sense for you to consider these 3 transport options: a fully paid motorbike, a fully paid car, or ride-hailing. This is because you may not be able to get a bank loan so easily as a foreigner retiring in Malaysia. Therefore, the cost breakdown later does not include the purchase cost of the motorbike or the car. For a fully paid motorbike, this is the monthly running cost. The assumptions are based on 5 pumps a month, 8 litres per pump, and RON 95 at 2 ringgit and 5 cents per litre. No monthly installments cost is fully paid. Petrol per month is 82 ringgit, and the road tax, bike maintenance, insurance and parking, and estimated cost per month is 60 ringgit, bringing it to a total of 142 ringgit per month. Let's take a look at the monthly running cost for a fully paid car. The assumptions are based on 5 pumps a month, 28 litres per pump, RON 95 at 2 ringgit and 5 cents per litre. No monthly installments cost is fully paid. The petrol per month is 287 ringgit. The road tax, car maintenance, insurance and parking estimated divided into 12 months is 235 ringgit per month. That brings us to a total of 522 ringgit per month. The third transport option, the ride-hailing one, like Grab, the assumptions are based on non-peak hours and short distances. Because you're a retiree and you have the time to plan, you're looking at 2 rides per day, each ride costing 10 ringgit, so that brings you to a total of 600 ringgit per month. As a foreigner retiring in Penang, I would advise you to rent instead of buy. Because as a foreigner, if you were to purchase your own property, it needs to be a minimum amount of 1 million ringgit. And that is, unless you're using for investment purposes, is not really worth it compared to the various rental options out there for you in different parts of the Penang Island. As explained in the earlier part of the video, the location matters where cost is concerned. So if you're staying in a more prime area, naturally you're expected to pay more for your rent. Whereas you stay in a less prime area, you will be expected to pay less. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to highlight to you two locations, one at Batu Feringhi, which is in a very chill, slightly off-center area, great for retirees. The other one is in the central area of Penang Island, which is in Glugor. For my first example, it is a 3-bedroom condo unit at 1,250 square feet at 2,100 ringgit per month. It is a great unit for retiree because it faces the sea, it is high floor and is fully furnished. For my second example, it is also a fantastic unit located at a fantastic location in the central area of Penang Island. It costs 3,500 ringgit per month. For a 2-bedder, it is a loft unit and is fully furnished as well and is also facing the sea. Here's the cost breakdown for the house rental for the budget-conscious retiree, which is example 1, the one at Batu Feringhi, which has 3 bedrooms, and we are costing for one half of a couple, which brings you to 1,050 ringgit per month. And here's the consolidated cost for everything related to the house rental, and I'm going to include the personal handphone as well. So for the monthly rental, per half of the couple is 1,050 ringgit. For utilities, break by half is 50 ringgit, internet is 40 ringgit, and the personal handphone is 50 ringgit, bringing to a total of 1,190 ringgit per month. The second example for the house rental for the average retiree, the second persona, the rental is higher. It's based on the Glugor area service apartment, which is a loft 2-bedroom unit, and the cost is for one half of the couple at 3,500 divided by 2, that's 1,750 ringgit per month. And the consolidated numbers for the house rental for the average retiree, everything related, 1,750 for the monthly rental, utilities is 80 ringgit, higher than the earlier persona, internet 50 ringgit, and personal handphone is 60 ringgit, bringing to a total of 1,940 ringgit per month. As a foreigner retiring in Penang, you'll be happy to know that healthcare in Penang is very extensive here. And you have a lot of good doctors and surgeons who are very experienced that's here to take care of your healthcare needs. I've covered some of the healthcare costs such as your private clinics and your dental costs in my cost of living in Penang part 1, but I'm unable to cover for you more specialized treatments such as surgeries or even hospitalization because it really varies. But what I can share with you is we see a lot of foreigners that come over here from neighboring countries like Singapore, Indonesia and other countries doing specialized treatment here, which tells me that the treatment here is pretty affordable in comparison to their home countries. For foreigners who are residing in Penang Island, it is really easy to get access to basic healthcare facilities. For the cost, the assumptions are 4 times doctor's visit a year, hopefully not, and 2 times dental visit a year, so the yearly amount broken into 12 months is 34 ringgit per month. In my previous video, Cost of Living in Penang Part 1, I covered extensively on the healthcare category, including insurance as well. Do note that it's different from this budget because that is for an average Penang night. So for a foreigner residing in Penang as a retiree, you have to cater for your own insurance and hospitalization plan in your own home countries. Which means any hospitalization, surgeries, or other specialized treatments must be taken out as a separate cost. Penang Island is pretty small, so there are just a couple of main malls such as your Queens Bay Mall, your Gurney Plaza, Gurney Paragon, and a couple of small ones for you, which has the main brands that you probably can find. But if you're looking for more luxurious brands like your Chanel, your Prada, your Louis Vuitton, you probably got to do a 4-hour drive down to KL, or maybe take an hour flight over to Singapore to find the brands. For your entertainment, you have your movies, you have your bowling, you have your karaoke. That's really affordable during your non-peak hours such as your weekdays. If you're looking for attractions, you have plentiful. You can go to the Escape Theme Park, you can go to the top of Komta Tower to do the skywalk, you can go to see the murals at the Heritage Walk, and you can go and see Balik Pulau, which is the other side of Penang, for you to enjoy a more kampong style laid-back kind of culture. And Penang, just like the rest of Malaysia, has no shortage of nature trails for you to walk or hike. So for example, the Penang Hill, you can hike up for 4 hours and then you can take a tram down, or you can go to Taman Negara, which is the national park, or other trails for you to walk and hike. Plenty of them. Well, if you're born in Penang Island, not to worry because the rest of Peninsular Malaysia is huge. You can easily take a very affordable interstate road trips to go discover Malaysia. There are so many states for you to explore in Peninsular Malaysia. You can go to the state of Perak, which is down south, to Ipoh, an old mining town, which has a lot of heritage and fantastic food. You can go further south to Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital of Malaysia, a huge city. You can even go down to Malacca, another quaint town. You can go down to the east of Peninsular Malaysia, Terengganu, where you can go to Pulau Redang, a fantastic island for you to enjoy, or Tioman, another island. Or you can go to the north, you can go to Langkawi, you can go to Kedah and Perlis, and even the edge of Thailand, Hat Yai, where a lot of Malaysians love to visit and take a day trip. Because you're already in Malaysia itself, and if you drive using your own car, it's very affordable for you to make all these road trips happen at your own leisurely time. Here comes the golden question. How does a foreigner retire or live long-term in Malaysia without a work visa? The truth is, there's no easy answer to this. You can get an employment and work visa, right? But that doesn't really qualify as retirement. So what other types of visa are there for you to retire and live in Penang for the long term? The first type of visa is MM2H, Malaysia My Second Home. This has been a long-standing government initiative to invite foreigners to live in Malaysia for an extended period of time. So what is MM2H? MM2H is primarily targeted at foreign retirees and working expats who are interested in making Malaysia their second home. And of course, this allows foreigners with MM2H visa to stay long-term and have multiple entries into Malaysia. This program has been running since 2002 and has shown to be successful. Unfortunately, after the pandemic, there are a lot of requirement changes, especially in the financial requirements. Since the changes made in the last 1 to 2 years, whether you are below 50 or above 50, you need a minimal liquid asset of 1.5 million ringgit and also an offshore monthly income of 40,000 ringgit per month. You also need a minimum of 1 million ringgit in a fixed deposit account. And I would say it would be a huge stretch for foreigners who would like to reside in Malaysia for their retirement and to meet these requirements of especially the 40,000 ringgit per month income. The second way to stay long-term in Malaysia is to get a long-term social visit pass. Like me, if you're lucky enough to marry a Malaysian spouse, you can certainly stay for long-term with him or her as your sponsor. Well, the process of acquiring this long-term social visit pass is not exactly straightforward. But don't worry, we've got you covered because we did an entire YouTube video entailing end-to-end on how you can get the long-term social visit pass. So do watch our video. For the third type of visa, before we continue, I'd like to take a step back and talk about early retirement. The reason why Fran and I advocate and shout so much about early retirement is because we really believe in it, that it is a possible path other than the traditional route of working till 65. And we have done it, right? So this third type of visa is actually very relatable to the way we operate now as retirees who have retired for 3 years. So our idea of retirement is not to just set up shop and do nothing, just go to the coffee shop and just read newspapers, right? Our idea of lifestyle after retirement or when we retire is to really travel, is to experience, is to create, is to give value. And as a result of that, because of the value that we can create, the money follows as well. So there will be some level of business income. So this third visa is called the Digital Nomad Visa that is newly launched in Malaysia. Therefore, in your quest towards early retirement or financial independence, I urge you to think out of the box, to consider building a business or two around the digital space, say content creation, such that you can qualify for digital nomad visas, not just for Malaysia, but all around the world like Bali, like Portugal, and many other places, and then you can find different homes for your retirement. So for Malaysia, let's take a look at the Digital Nomad Visa requirement. The launch of the Malaysia Digital Nomad Visa took place very recently, as recent as 1st October 2022, and this is Malaysia's bid to try and attract talents from all over the world. On first impressions, it seems like this is a very tech-based kind of requirement. If you really look at it, like digital marketing, creative content development, it is really not. And the requirements for this, which you need a minimum of 24,000 USD income a year, is actually not a huge stretch. So if you're really interested in staying in Malaysia for the long term, this visa is really highly suitable. In this budget building segment, I'm going to share with you two different budgets, one lower and one higher, so that you have a realistic representation of how much does it cost to retire in Penang. And this is for you to plan your expenses such that you can manage your monthly cash flow. These are the two personas for your reference, the budget-conscious retiree and the average consumer retiree. Now, these budgets are built based on a basic retirement budget. So it does not include wants, and it also doesn't include the expenses for your own home country. And these are the consolidated numbers for the budget-conscious retiree. And this covers all basic needs. For food, it's 595 ringgit. For household items, 80 ringgit. For the transport, this person is riding a motorbike that's fully paid, 142 ringgit for the running costs. Rental is 1,190 ringgit for all-inclusive. For medical, is 34 ringgit per month. And this brings to a total of 2,042 ringgit per month. What's not catered in the budget is the price of the vehicle, is the medical insurance in your own home country, and the cost of travel back to your home countries to visit your friends or family or other countries, any expenses in your own home country, any interstate travels, and essentially all your wants. They are not within this basic needs budget. And this is the second persona, the average retiree, based on all basic needs. For food, is 1,107 ringgit. For household items, 100 ringgit. For transport, a fully paid car, the running cost will be 522 ringgit. For accommodation, for rent, will be 1,940 ringgit. For medical, 34 ringgit. And again, what's not catered is the same as before, and this person's total budget per month is an estimated 3,703 ringgit per month. There you have it, the real cost of retiring in Penang Island. In our previous video, Fran and I shared a video about how we go about our day as a retired couple in Penang Island. Do check it out below. I hope you can relate to today's video and draw inspiration to find a different path towards an early retirement and time freedom instead of the usual traditional path. I urge you to take action. Even little steps goes a very long way. By taking these actionable steps, your future self will thank you one day. Thank you for watching and have a great day ahead.